So we should be all good to go. Just a reminder, please raise your hand if you have a question. With that said, Coach, if you want to get us started, we're good to go.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought, I think, Joe, right after the game, you asked me the question about the draft status and all those things. And, I was exhausted after the game. That was an emotional back and forth. So I talked to the team today, and I just I wanted to take a moment and articulate exactly why I think it's important to win right now, with kind of like the way my mind works. So hopefully that's okay with, with you guys. But so I look at it, we come in this year. And so the Panthers went to the Super Bowl in 2015, and there have been, so there've been all those seasons since then, right? And there's been one playoff season. So there's been 20 times that they've had a chance to play a game in December, a regular season game in December and January. And I've been preaching to our team, like, if you want to be a champion, it's the way you play at the end of the season, at the end of games, right? Like, everybody's good during the game, but if you don't win in 2 minutes, you don't win the game. Everyone's good in September, October, but you've got to win late in games when your bodies are beat up, when you're tired, when it's cold, all those different things. And so we've been given the blessing of going to Lambeau and facing a team that's fighting for the first pick. It's not for the first pick, for the only bye this year. A team yesterday was a playoff game for them. And the Saints this week are fighting to be either first, second, or third in the division. So we have these opportunities, these reps. So there have been 20 games in the last 4 years. One was the Saints when they were resting their starters, so I didn't count that. So there's been 19 games, and the Panthers' record in the last 19 games was 5-14 in December. And I think it's a learned skill. I think it's something you have to learn how to win at the end of the year. And so the one year, 2017, when we went to the playoffs, we were 3-2 in December, right? So we had a winning record in December and January. We go to the playoffs. But in the other 3 non-playoff years, we were 2-12. And so when I look at it, I say, like, all right, well, organizationally, we haven't really won in December, which is why we haven't made playoff runs. So that's a focus of this year, is, amongst many other things, is to learn how to win in December. So, we go to Lambeau, and I wrote this down. We go to Lambeau, and our 7 drafted rookies all played at Lambeau. We're the only team that had all 7 players play last week. So that's an opportunity. Yesterday, because Troy was hurt, we had 6 of the 7. So I have all these rookies out there playing that were drafted. They're playing late in the year in what I would call playoff intensity games. Yesterday, we had 13 first and second year players playing. We had 9 defensive guys. We had 10 first year players, 4 undrafted free agents. So I guess to articulate it better, I'm looking at all those young guys out there playing, and they're playing the Washington football team, who's fighting to go to the playoffs. And we didn't get a chance to go to the playoffs this year, but this is as close as I can simulate it for them. When I look at our defense, the 10 of the 11 starters are under contract for next year. So, like, for them to go out there and play as well as they did for most of the game, I'm like, these are opportunities for us to learn how to win. And at the end of the year, we'll worry about free agency and the draft, but I really believe that it's a skill to win late in the year. Like, you watch the Patriots years ago, the Super Bowl, they high flying, and all of a sudden at the end of the year, they transform themselves when it gets cold, and they run the ball and stop the run and do all those things. So I just wanted to give you a complete kind of football answer, if that makes sense, why I think it's so important that we went to Lambeau and didn't roll over, that we fought back, why it's so. And if you look back to the first game was Denver, we didn't play very good. And so to go from Denver to the way we played at Green Bay to now the way we played yesterday, I mean, that was a hard fought game. And then we'll see what happens this week versus the Saints. I mean, it's 4:25, it's national TV. I guess it's national TV. It's the Saints, they're fighting for the bye. I mean, the bye this year is so important because only one team gets it. So, I mean, they're going to play. And so if we go play, then hopefully that'll be another step. So I hope you guys are okay with me articulating that, but I wanted to give you a football kind of my mindset. With that, I'll take any questions you guys have.
All right, let's go to Skylar Callahan to start us off.
Hey, Matt, congrats on the win. And you talked about some of those younger players. And it seems like Yetur's been really trying to, step up his game the last few weeks, made a couple of big plays. What have you seen from him down the stretch? And is it just maybe a product of him finally being fully healthy for a good period of time?
Yeah, and in fairness to Yetur, I mean, he's not even really healthy. He has some things that are, bothering him that he's going to have to address, but I think it's just playing, it's just the reps. You need reps at getting to the quarterback, taking away the run. He's had some good moments. He's had some moments he's come off the field. We've yelled at him, hey, get in your gap. And he's like, got it. So he's such a young kid. I mean, he's, 21, 22 years old. I mean, he's so young that his upside is so huge that he just has to play. And you see him doing more and more good things every week. And that to me is invaluable as we head into the second year for him, is getting these reps for him right now.
Elena, I saw your hand pop up and go back down. Do you have a question?
I can go, sure. Matt, I was kind of curious, you referenced that you spoke to the team. I understand why you're explaining it to us, and I appreciate that, but why did you feel like it was important to talk to the team about why you think it's important to win in December? Did you feel like that, when we talked to players last night, that was clearly a message they understood. So I guess why did you feel that was important today?
Well, just because I want to make sure they understand what we're trying to do. I didn't go through all the, hey, we haven't won in December. Like, this is more like my brain. I just want them to understand that I believe that this is a learned skill. I believe that winning in December is, you have to build your team for that. You have to have a mindset for that. Like, for us, we played 2 games in 30-degree temperatures, right? Like, and some of our older players were talking about that last week. Hey, everyone's going to think we're coming up from the South. We're not going to be able to play in the cold. Well, for us to want to be, unless we have home field advantage in the NFC, like in future years, we're going to have to go to some cold places. And so, to me, it's just us building this mindset of, we're not playing for nothing right now. We're playing for a chance to win. Like, we're the Carolina Panthers. We want to win, but also winning in December is a big deal. And we want to look back at the end of the year and say, hey, if we'd made a couple more plays in October, we could have won. We don't want to say, hey, we didn't finish strong. So I think it's just more that mindset of, hey, win down the stretch. That's what good teams do. And also, I parlayed it back into the last 8 games. You also have to win at the end of the game. And yesterday we had the lead. We needed to get a couple first downs on offense to close the game. We couldn't quite do it. Defensively, they went 90 yards. So we have to get better at the end of games in lots of different areas to win.
Matt, was there any sort of equivalent to this kind of thinking in college, like winning down the stretch, helping you recruiting? I mean, or is this whole, again, understanding it's not a debate within your building, but apparently, presumably a debate among fans about draft positioning versus winning. Is this all kind of new to you, or had you kind of watched it from afar?
No, I mean, you wanted to win down the stretch in college because, to me, you were fighting to go to a bowl game or get to a better bowl game or maybe go to the, conference championship game. Or if you weren't a real good team, like in my first year at Temple, we were 1-10 and won the last game against Memphis. You were trying to build some energy and momentum into the offseason. You wanted your young players to see what it felt like to win and go into the offseason on a high note, like, hey, this is working, the process is working. Even like my first year at Baylor, we played TCU, who was like number 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that in the country. And, we played them pretty well for a long stretch of the game. They ended up pulling away from us, but at least our guys knew, hey, we started the season off losing to Liberty, and now we're, playing toe-to-toe with TCU. Hey, we have a chance here if we just keep doing this. So, so not maybe the same equivalent, but I do believe, all my mentors, other than Coach Paterno, have been pro football guys. They've been Bill Parcells. They've been Tom Coughlin. And so I've always heard from those guys, hey, you can build your team to win in September and October. You can build your team to win in a dome, but invariably you're going to have to go to, Lambeau. You're going to have to go to, Chicago. You're going to have to go to East Rutherford and win a playoff game at some point. And if you can't win in those environments, again, I think the biggest thing is everyone's beat up. Every team's, so it's like you watch around the league. People are setting rushing records right now because it's just hard to play defense when you're at the end of the year. So that's probably what I'm trying to, equate it to. And then I think I said to you yesterday, there's not a lot of teams that have built their teams to championship caliber teams by getting multiple top 5 picks. Usually when you're down there, the problem's a lot deeper. Now there's some, they've gotten a player or two, but it's not really, I don't have the parallels in my brain of, hey, I want to do it just like these guys,
If I could follow up on an unrelated topic, just has your appreciation for Taylor Moton changed at all as this season has gone on? And obviously you didn't know him much before you got here, but how has that, as you've gotten to know his game and his kind of him as a person over this year?
Yeah, he's an excellent player. He's an excellent professional. He's an even better person. you'll hear me talk about the brand and certain type of guys. He's all of that. I mean, I think he's an excellent player. He's a great pro. Never any question about anything, really anything about him. I mean, he's just exactly what you want, in your organization. That was a great draft pick.
Did the opportunity to kind of negotiate with him, is that still there for you guys even without?
Oh, I mean, again, I won't really probably get into that stuff until after the season, but Samir is our salary cap, and negotiation person. So that he's here.
Let's go to Darren Gant, followed by David Newton.
Matt, a couple of weeks ago, leading into Christmas, you kind of joked. You said you want these guys to remember to buy the Christmas present for the wife and the third down defense game plan. Do you get the sense, you rattled off all the numbers of young people, do you get the sense that those guys get it? Did they remember to buy the Christmas present? Do they understand what you're selling here?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think they absolutely do. And I think it's some key veterans leading the way. I mean, I think it's, Shaq Thompson. I think it's, you look at that game yesterday. I mean, Tahir Whitehead makes a huge pick, leads to points. Trey makes it, we turn the ball over. Trey comes back and picks the ball off. It's some veteran players. I gave Dante Jackson a game ball. Like, they went after him 5 times, including a fade in the end zone. He kept knocking the ball away, and he's a third-year player. But, I think some guys who have been around, they understood that, what this game was going to be like. And I thought they were ready for the challenge. So, I think there was a real maturity to the team this week.
Hey, Matt, I totally get what you're saying about winning in December and January. I'm just curious, do you feel like you have to sell fans on that as well, or?
No, I mean, I have a lot of fans also that I see that are happy we won, so I've always said to myself, like, I never, when I was in college, said, hey, come to the games, like a lot of coaches do that. I was always coach the team, build a winner. Like I said to you guys about being I can't be the marketing person. I can't be the GM. Like, I just got to worry about the team in the locker room. And at the end of the day, when enough time goes by, either we've won and, people are excited, or, or we haven't. So I would hope that anybody that watches our team is excited about the way we play and excited about the way we fly around on defense. And, but at the same time, it's a great part about being a fan, right? Is that even when I get together with my buddies, we talk about basketball. Like, we never just sit there and all agree with each other, right? Like, if you say Kobe, someone's going to say LeBron. If you say LeBron, someone's going to say Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. It's part of being a fan. I love that, and I get that, and I love the debates about it. For me, I can't even enter my mind that, hey, we should lose. I was in Philadelphia when the Sixers were doing the trust the process, tanking thing, and they haven't hung one in the rafters yet. So I just think that's part of being a fan. I think it's awesome. I love and appreciate our fans. I love the passion that they're excited. I have to worry about coaching the team, and to me, winning's an acquired skill. It's a learned skill, and so I have to hopefully learn how to win, the team learn how to win, we learn how to win together, and it becomes a habit. And then it's hard to lose.
I wanted to ask you too, kind of what I was asking yesterday about the style of play, and you mentioned how you got to play good defense and you got to have a running game to win in December. But to win championships, is this what you think this team needs to be to win championships with this type of style of play, or you wanted to be more dynamic offensively when you get to December in those games?
No, I think you have to be versatile. Like, I think if you're playing, the Washington football team, and that they're going to run the ball and they're going to try to keep you under 100 yards, you have to be able to run the football. I think if you go out there and say, hey, if we run for 100 yards against Kansas City, with Kansas City, we held Kansas City to 36 yards rushing. You have to eliminate explosive plays. So everything works in concert with each other. I think, I always try to study the best coaches. You still see Belichick, Coach Belichick, I should say, like, they take away what you do well and they take advantage of what you don't do well. And so that's really where the versatility will eventually, we hope, will come in, where, it was 3rd and 14 yesterday. We hit an explosive play to Curtis. It led to a touchdown, right? Like, you have to be a little bit of all of it. I just think in December, when it gets cold, if all you do is throw it, you're going to have a hard time if you can't run the football. And so really, it's the ability to be balanced. Again, take away what they do well on defense and then exploit what you do well and exploit what they don't do well. So it's just kind of being well-rounded, complementary football. If you took one thing away from yesterday, I hope people would say, well, it's pretty complimentary football. They pick the ball off, they go down and score. Then we throw a pick, we pick it right back, so it's just, we punt the ball down inside the 10 to go play good defense. I thought it was gritty. It wasn't always pretty, especially in the second half, but it was complimentary. And that's the type of team you'd like to have. I will say though, David, if you have a 20-3 lead and you can't run the football, you're not going to win. And that's why we were able to crawl back in the game last week against Green Bay. Green Bay had 159 yards rushing in the first half. They finished with 195. We held them to 36 yards rushing in the second half. So if they would have had another 150, we'd have been run off the field. The game would have been over. So if you have a lead, the best way to protect the lead is to be able to run the football and keep your defense off the field. We could not do that yesterday in the second half. I think we had like 96, 98 yards rushing in the first half. We finished with, 15 in the second half. So lots of room for improvement. Lots of things have to improve, but there were some good things to build off of.
Go to Jonathan Alexander for the next question, followed by Vashti Hurt.
Hey, man, hope you're doing well. I know probably there weren't a lot of high expectations for the defense entering the year, just for the simple fact there's so many rookies. What do you think changed for the defense that allowed them to play as well as they have in the second half of the season in particular?
I think they've improved. I think the players have just gotten better. I think the coaching staff has adjusted to what we do well. I think we've had some key, we've had guys go down. We've had, I think Dante coming back the last 3 weeks has been huge. I thought we had some good moments. I thought we played good against the Cardinals. I thought we played, the Chargers game, we held them under 20 points. I thought we played good against play well against the Chicago Bears, but we just weren't getting off the field on third down. At one point, I think Phil's done a great job and his staff and the players of addressing what we're not doing well. So it was, hey, we're not, first 2 games, Matt, why aren't we getting sacks? Why aren't we getting sacks? Well, then now we're, we had 3 sacks yesterday. We got sacks after that. Then it was, and all rightfully so, it was, boy, we're not getting off the field on third down. We played the Saints. I think that was a record, 10 of 14 of 15 or something. We've been pretty good on third down the last, 5 weeks. Phil last week talked to the guys about, hey, we can't give up touchdowns in the red zone. They had trips down the red zone. We kept them out of the end zone. I think was the main key. It was early in the game, till that last 2-minute drive. So we're certainly not perfect, but I think Phil Snow's done a fantastic job. And when I say Phil Snow, I mean him and his staff of, hey, what do our players do well? Okay, this guy's down. What, like yesterday, Burns goes down. We don't have Burns. So he puts 3 linebackers and 3 D linemen on the field and plays a dime look, for a lot of the game. So we haven't really done that much. He did it. So I think he's done a great job. I really think the players have gotten better and better and better within the systems. They understand it. They communicate better. They've learned from their mistakes. They've improved. And then, again, some key guys. I mean, I think getting Burris back. Burris was out for an injury for a long time. I think getting Dante back. Dante played really well yesterday, really well. So I think that's a mixture of all those things. But the biggest thing is that they've just all worked together to improve and haven't panicked.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on yesterday. You talked about this team learning how to win. In watching tape, was there a specific series or maybe a play where you said, okay, these guys right here get it. They're actually learning how to win within this series or this play, as opposed to what might have happened in previous weeks?
Are you talking about this past game?
Yes.
I would say it's the 2 exchanges I talked about, Tahir picking that ball off and then them going down the field and scoring. To me, good teams, they complement each other. You want to answer a stop with a score and a score with a stop, kind of that mentality. So I thought it was that exchange. And then it was, we're rolling in 2 minutes. They hit Teddy's arm, the ball gets picked off. They try to be aggressive and Trey goes and picks the ball off. And that's, to me, early in the season, sometimes it was like the defense watching the offense to see what they do and, or the offense seeing what the defense does. And I think last couple of weeks, the defense has just been like, hey, it doesn't matter what happens. We're going to go play defense. And the offense said, hey, if you get a turnover for us, we're going to go capitalize. But I think those 2 things really showed complementary football, which is what we want to build. We want to build a team, not just a great offense, not just a great defense, but a team that plays well together. And I would say that's really key to winning. And I thought that they did that on those 2 exchanges. That was really good football.
Is that something that comes with time, or is it just like an aha moment?
I think it's something that comes with time, and unfortunately, sometimes it comes through adversity. You don't do it, and you point it out, and guys are like, you're right. Like so many times in football, you're on the field and you're sitting there like, man, what's happening? Why is this happening? It feels like you're, piling on. Then you go back and watch the tape and you realize it's not this emotional thing. It's just these little increments of, hey, if he would have done this and if he's in his gap, and you start realizing that you control winning. It's not really something that happens to you. And I feel like the guys are starting to understand, like, if we all do our job, we're going to have a chance to win. And then comes a time where Tahir's got to go pick that ball off. Trey's got to lay out and pick that ball off. Curtis has to run through 4 or 5 guys and make an unbelievable run. But, other than those plays, everyone else on the other plays just has to kind of do their job. And I think you have to lose and have guys say, everyone, hey, guys, just do your job. You have to win and guys say, hey, we did our job. And then there's still, there's still a lot of plays in the game where we didn't play very well. And if we can improve those, that's how you go from being, you want to transition, to being a good team and eventually to being a great team. So if you keep that mindset, that humble mindset of, hey, we've got to get better, then you have a chance.
All right, guys, looks like we have a few left. So let's go to Steve Reed, followed by Joe Person, and finish with Alana Getzenberg.
Hey, Matt, just looking forward to this week. Kamara, I'm sure you saw what he did on the ground last week. And I just wonder if you talk about the challenges the Saints face for this week.
Well, I mean, they're obviously an outstanding football team. They're a team that complements each other. When you talk about the Saints, everyone talks about the offense as they should. Breeze, Alvin Kamara, but their defense has been lights out. Has been lights out all year. The pass rush, they present real challenges. So we played them once. We came down to the very end. So it's the second time playing them. We at least have one game to look at and learn off of. We have enough issues on our own in terms of Trent Scott got banged up yesterday. Who we have to kind of figure out our health over the next couple of days to see who's available. But I think it's a tremendous opportunity. But they're a really good football team, and they challenge you on the ground, in the air, and on defense. And that's, to me, when you have that triumvirate, and they're an outstanding special teams unit. Let me say that. So when you have all those things, it kind of goes back to what we said with David. It's not like, hey, I want to win with just the one game. They can win any which way.
Yeah, Matt, I was going to ask about the health of a couple of guys, starting with Christian, and we ask every week, but does he have a chance or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would say I'm probably leaning towards no, based off of everything I saw. We'll see. We'll see if all of a sudden he feels great. But I don't know. Yeah, it'd be my answer as of right now. Just, I'm not in the building today, so it's really hard for me because I'm here at home, as you can see, Monday, Tuesday. But, I'll probably know more Wednesday.
And if Trent is a no-go, would it be Schofield again, or would you look to, move some other folks?
Yeah, I don't know. We already we're kind of been elevating some guys off the practice squad, so I think we're in that realm right now where, we have Sco, then we have some guys on the practice squad. So I think Trent's probably a no. But I don't have official word, but it would be I would assume that.
Just to add on to the injury questions really quick, are you expecting Troy to not be back for this week, or where are you with him?
I don't expect it. We didn't put him on IR because, he was trying to see what he could do, but that could change very quickly. So it would probably be hey, get to Wednesday, see where he's at, move from there.
And I assume with your response to about Trent, Russell for this week is kind of in the same boat.
No, I have no idea. No, I wait till Wednesday and see how he's feeling.
Okay. And then the one other question I had was, I understand that you take this 1 week at a time and you want to win this game, but is there anything you feel like you want to see from this team before you go into the off season? Is there, is it winning, a complete game, or is there anything in particular you think you want to go into the off season with?
Yeah, I mean, I want to play our best game. I mean, I think, again, this is for the Saints, this is an opportunity for us. They're playing for the 1 seed. And so you think about it, you'll be the only team in the NFC who doesn't have to play a first round playoff game. It used to be 2 teams. Now it's 1 team. That's huge. So this is like a playoff game for them. And so we're going to get their absolute best, which is really, really, really outstanding. So I'm anxious to see us, go match that and go see if we can play as well as they do. So that's really it, to be quite honest. And that's really it. I mean, some guys will have to step up because of injury. So, we'll be anxious to see how they respond. But that's kind of where my head's at.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thank you all for joining. Coach, we appreciate you taking the time.
All right, guys, take care. Thank you.